Momentum. This is our last, well, technically our second to last Momentum report because you have to join us next Friday for the grand finale. But yeah, we had a great week this past week, thinking about collaboration and emergence. I know for me has been um, emergence has been a really big word for me this year, and collaboration, especially in terms of community and everything else. So, yeah, just moving from that into celebration and harvest for me feels like a really good transition. I really appreciate like getting to this point in the fundraiser and yeah, just being with everybody here on the live stream and in the Zoom call. Looking forward to hearing some reflections from people about how this theme showed up in their lives this week and how everything is moving. And then, yeah, we'll get into some updates about what's going on the Vision Train. We've got new artist work in the shop. We've got all kinds of news from the Iceland Eclipse Festival and workshops and different things. So lots to talk about. But yeah, maybe we could just start. I'm gonna go ahead and stop my screen share now so that I can see all my friends and their beautiful faces. And yeah, maybe I don't know, should I start or does somebody want to start with reflections? Like what was this week of collaboration and emergence about for everybody? Is there anyone just burning to share? If not, I can keep filling space and then somebody can raise their hand when they feel like they have something to say. Um, yeah, it was really exciting. I've noticed for myself as the weeks continue going on, it's like the first week was like so much energy and really like had that like lift off feeling of like, okay, I'm committed to this and like I really like I believe in this and it's like it's not just like a thing that I have to do. Like it felt like something I was really excited about. And then I just noticed as the weeks went on and on the honest feeling was like you always wish that people would respond more, you know? And like just like navigating that through creative practice because that's why I designed it the way that I did was like I knew that a lot of stuff, insecurities, old money trauma, old this, old that, were gonna come up. And it's been such yeah, just with the theme of emergence, I really feel like I've gotten somewhere. I've made progress. I have gathered momentum personally in the last 5 weeks. Um, and yeah, earlier today I was with some of the conductors and we did a short version of the Vision Train drawing project, which is you draw what's in your train car. It's a way of either like looking to your most optimal future or also just like what's alive for you, right? And today it was like all scribbles and dark space, but also like this thing climbing out of the car and just and it was just really interesting to see how I don't feel clear. I don't. But I have received a lot of moments of clarity over these last 5 weeks. And I don't feel stressed, but I've really received a lot of like cathartic moments after over these last 5 weeks. So it's like been really interesting to see how when I actually step in and engage with it, it's like I didn't know that's what a fundraiser was about. It's like I really, yeah, I thought I would be more focused on, basically canvassing my neighborhood and asking for donations and like reach out. But it was about a lot more than that for me. And I'm really, really grateful for getting to experience it with all of you guys. So yeah, I almost want to like pull Kyra in because I feel like honestly there was like a lot of like sisterhood for me with you in this last 5 weeks of just seeing you really step into something that I felt like I put a lot of work into and you really took it up and it did a lot of cool stuff for you too, I felt like. So yeah, just seeing that reflection has been really, really special for me. So I wanted to say thank you, but also if you had anything you wanted to share.
Yeah, I totally felt it as soon as you asked the question. I'm like, ooh, anxiety, public speaking. But that's definitely a place where I'm emerging out of, is that social anxiety and those labelings that prohibit me from doing things that I want to do, but tell myself I can't do. But within the fundraiser, the last now 5 weeks, I have been hosting the Daily Vision Deep Dive in connection to the weekly themes. And so this is a trip that happens twice a week. And it's a consistent collaboration with whoever shows up and whatever the topic is, what are we building together? But the main thing is to encourage like daily creativity. How can we help one another? And these conversations inspiring each other to, make art every day or to make something every day. And looking at some of the questions I had for this week, of like, what does collaboration look like? I think when I think about making art in collaboration, it could be like physically collaborating on a painting or like an art piece. But the conversation that we had this week also is like collaboration is everything. It doesn't have to be just the art. And a lot of the ways that we get to art is not like the art making. So it could be like the non-physical as well. And there's just so many layers of these conversations that were aimed to inspire like our within our creative practice, but it's so open. And I think that's what has been so nourishing about these 3 hour trips. And we have been discussing these things for like 3 hours.
Hmm.
And for me, like I just didn't expect it to be that. And yeah, definitely so grateful for Ali, you opening up this um idea, like these weekly themes, and it has been very, very nourishing for me, and I'm sure for the folks that showed up. Some of you guys here have shown up for it, and I appreciate for you feeling that trip. Um, yeah, and I'm a little sad that it's over because I liked how there's a theme and something that you kind of expect to when you show up. Because I don't know what everyone's practice is, but we're all here as creatives and learners, and yeah.
Cool. We could totally keep themes going. I mean, you should do it. Just have a theme for your trip. That would be so fun if it worked for you, you know. And the other thing that I know you're so humble and everything, but like your website is
Yes.
such a big accomplishment, and I feel so proud for you, and it's just like it's so beautiful, and I think you should put it at least in the chat unless you want to share it, because I mean
Mm.
it you did such a good job. I think, yeah, we've been doing Brittany this past month brought back entrepreneurial palette, and I'm excited that like a lot of the artists are really interested in getting together and having those conversations as well. But yeah, I just think it's so cool that like, yeah, I'm always wondering like, do people really want to be having these conversations, or are we coming here to paint? And I'm realizing it's always both, you know, and you know, Catherine's here painting and not no pressure to be part of the conversation. You know what I mean? You can have your cake and eat it too, you know. So. But yeah, Kyra put her website in the chat for everybody, and I definitely encourage anyone who hasn't checked it out to check it out. It's really, really inspiring.
Thanks, Ali. Yeah, it's something I've been feeling for a long time, and it was just a great sign to like affirmation of like, okay, yeah, I am gathering momentum, and what am I doing about it? How am I
Mm,
actually doing that? And seeing Amanda's launch of her auction and other people's things that they have going on. And as somebody who has been traveling nomadically, it's like, what can I do to keep nourishing myself and sharing myself while not being in a stagnant place or physical place that's not moving all the time.
mm,
So, yeah.
Super thanks for sharing, especially with the anxiety and stuff. I can totally relate to that. So hopefully I just keep praying that with practice that will go away, maybe. I don't know. Does anybody else want to share? Amy?
I can share. Hi, everybody. Good to see y'all here. I see For me, some new faces. I've been in and out. I haven't been on the train a lot lately because I was in Iceland, and I do see Catherine's painting, and I looks like it's one from our. You started that during the workshop, huh? The Yeah, the embodied vision workshop, and I did that was like the day before I left for Iceland, and that was so fun. I had so much fun doing that workshop, and it felt really like invigorating to jump into that like live online, focus. And so I'm really excited to keep going forward with that. I feel like the collaboration within the Vision Train team, like with Marina and developing workshops, like feels really inspiring going forward into the fall and helping other conductors and other people also develop workshops. And I also, yeah, this was my little train car from earlier. Oh, I have like this. I gotta take this off. Oh, it works. So I was just like thinking about the preparation and then the integration, especially integration right now of like the summer months for me. And then all the connections that have happened and ideas for, going forward, like the harvest. I mean, that's like the theme that we're going into, the celebration and harvest. But really getting in touch with people, keeping the threads alive of feeling, that forward momentum. There's always like, there's the contraction, right? And then it's like this breathing, the breath out and in. And it's like that, I think, with just connecting with others, with even creating, there's in making art, there's the incubation time, the time that like you don't always like you're not always productive in the outward sense, how much to acknowledge the production in the inner sense. And also thinking about like the collaboration of all the human connection I've had in the past few months has been really powerful. So I'm excited to reflect on that and see
Mm,
what's going to emerge from it. Yes.
sweet. Who else wants to share any reflections about collaboration and emergence or the last 5 weeks or what's alive for you today? And give anybody a second to find the unmute, and if not, yay.
Hi. Um, so when this whole theme came up in the beginning, I was like, oh yeah, this sounds amazing. And then I went into an adverse not wanting to be online situation. So I've missed quite a lot of it. But in the last week, um really connecting in with what's going on in the skies. The eclipse was also our wedding anniversary, my husband's birthday. We were on a lake kayaking when the eclipse happened, and just visiting sacred sites here in Ireland and taking time to connect in with the land. And I've been writing and writing and doodling and drawing in my journal. So I would say, when I think about a collaboration with family and play and the outdoors and Mama Earth and Father Sky and, Grandmother Moon and yeah, it's just been really beautiful, and it all inspired me to hop back on the train this week. So, yay! Thank you for your
Oh.
inspiration, Ali, and everybody else. And I want to say as well, I've been watching Kyra and looking at all your trips and Amanda Satya and, all the people that are turning up every day. And I'm like, oh, I want to jump on, but I don't want to jump on, but I'm back. So,
Mm,
here to collaborate again.
mm, I love that. I'm so glad you're back. I missed you. And I always miss people when they're not here, but that is the way of it, you know? It's
Yeah.
exactly what Amanda was saying. And when she was talking about the contraction and the breath and everything, it's just like the oscillations of a wave. If we are light, if we are sound, which we are, then we're always vibrating and we're always going to have that motion and that resistance and but it's all a part of the flow. So it's just good to be with you and to see you. And I loved hearing about, yeah, your anniversary sounds really special. And I know you were sharing earlier with the conductors about going to that historic sacred tree and just like, yeah, just having those really special connections and knowing that we are all connected so that when you're having those, there's this vicarious collaboration happening. So I really love that. Thank you, Sandy.
Hey, I'll share.
Hey, Michelle.
Hi. Yeah, my work got delayed an hour, so I got to listen a bit longer. But yeah, I just wanted to say hi. It's good to be here. I'm always going to work on Friday night, so that's why I can't make the jams usually. Otherwise, I would be there. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for keeping the momentum. I appreciate it, and a special, always to see you and Kyra on is so helpful, to me and the times I do jump on. And Amanda's workshop was amazing, and the embodied visions. And yeah, as soon as she posted it, I knew I needed to do it because like I hadn't been painting, and I knew it would get my ass in gear, and it did. I'm so happy because then I did my first weekend of live painting after that, and I almost left the festival the first night because I was so scared to do something on the canvas. Yeah, it was so funny. And then it just turned out so beautiful and fun and amazing and healing. And yeah, so I'm just happy to be back and like excited to be part of the conversation. And today, like I'm not getting any of the jobs. Like I want a full-time job just so I can pay rent, but I'm like I can't find any. But then today I went to a place in this little town that's an art hub. It's an art hub place this lady's had for 3 years. That's just like the perfect community space that's like available. Let's co-create anything you want. Like, so yeah, I'm feeling the art sphere today. It's just like, okay, I guess it's time, to offer some classes or workshops and things. And it's still like I don't know why it's so intimidating because
Mm.
I've taken enough. Like I've taken enough to learn a thing or two. But yeah. Anyway, so I'm just like jumping aboard with you all in spirit, and yeah, looking forward to helping out more, collaborating, being giving back a little more if I can too. So that's all I got. Just parking. Yeah. Thank you.
For sure. No, I loved hearing you share about going to live painting and I don't remember what trip we were on, but you were sharing a little bit more about that and how your friend came in and was like, you got this. What are you talking about? And you got it together. And yeah, I just hearing it in the cadence with the workshop too, and just sort of like getting the juices flowing. And then you were ready, and then you had that moment because I've been having so many of those moments too, where I'm like so excited to do the thing and I'm finally doing it. I'm so proud of myself. And then I get to the thing and I'm like, oh no, I'm like, I can't do, I've been having that a lot lately. So I can really relate to that. And to hear your like success story is really nice. And then this new added bonus of the art space, that sounds amazing. I'm really excited for you and to see where that leads. Oh no, she popped off. Well, Chantel has joined us. It is Saturday morning somewhere. We are just sharing reflections from the last week, from the theme of collaboration and emergence, from whatever is alive for us. So I know Danny and Chantel, you've just joined. Welcome back, Michelle. Sorry, I guess you got booted off there for just a second. But yeah, super excited for you, and that art space opportunity sounds really amazing. So yeah, if there's anyone else who would like to share, hey Danny, I see ya.
I don't want to hog the mic, but I do want to say collaboration and getting to be together in Iceland with Under the Eclipse with Danielle and Nina and Courtney Mahadevi and Joe Bob and Chris and so many beautiful folks was really special. And yeah, was thinking of y'all that weren't couldn't be there in person too, but it's so nice to have the interface, to be together. So Danny, good to see you.
You too. And thanks, Allie. But I just to reiterate, like we are all so connected, whether we've met in person or not. Like the safety net is so real in the vibe check. It's like I was saying to Amanda, like I can go and camp in a campground and make new friends and know that I have a connection with those people, or all, everyone, but there's something about when you're somewhere and then the people that you've known for years or have a rapport with show up. It's like you feel totally different and totally safe and totally held. And like you want that. Like we yearn for that. We yearn for that when we can just put our guard down and be like we know one another. And I just feel like we have that with one another here. And we'll always have that, whether we've met in person or not. Like we already have these connections. So it's so powerful. We have to just keep going and keep weaving and keep getting together in person and inspiring one another. It's pretty amazing. And like experience like being here and leading trips or like getting that kudos to lead a trip or to speak on the microphone. Like now I feel so pumped. Like people have like the presentations that they offer and I'm like, I need a presentation to offer. Like, yeah, this is like a, a proving ground. This is like it's an arena where we strengthen our presence and so great. Yeah, I know I wanted to do another one for in between this week, Kyra, but I felt like it would be a lot. Maybe if I could do it impromptu. But I want to. I wanted to do one from Iceland this week, but I'm not sure if I can pull that together. But I definitely want to do one about Iceland and all the Burning Man. I do feel also like adults need summer camp. I feel like I just went to summer camp and like I'm just definitely like we need to go to summer camp together more frequently. And Amanda and I, like, we could totally see how Iceland, even though outside of the bubble of the festival, it's very expensive. But like very emphasis on very. I'm glad, Amanda, you didn't have the time in the city, even though you could have used it because it just like it's always so crazy. It's like leaving Torre Superiore and going to Florence. You're like, I want to embrace Florence, but I'm just like used to being at Torre Superiore where it's safe. And, it's like you get thrust into the real world. But we can totally see how the town where we were in would host a beautiful vision train retreat. And this painting and this group and this painting with the light family, like it's really helped me travel in the world. And like we all can help one another travel in the world and rock up with our contemporaries with a bulk payment that we've saved up for months, and it's amazing to think about how the painting and being creatives opens the world up to us, and have one another to support to do it with. Incredible.
Yeah, that reminds me of Marina was sharing recently on a trip about money, and she was just like, "Don't ask me how, but I make art and the money comes." And she literally said it just like that. Don't ask me how. Yeah, It's like, and it's funny, but yeah, I think so much of the time, aspiring artists are like looking at the reality that they're in and expecting that that's going to continue, you know what I mean, when they're making their plans about how, but if you just like send it like you're talking about and like just embody it, like it's so cool to see, it's not always easy, but things really do open up. So I 100% agree, and I would love to have you come do one of your photo dump trips. And just,
Yeah.
I love your energy. I love having you on the
Oh,
train. So it's just good to see you.
thanks. And I just one more shout out for the nonstop vision train because it's really like it serves us in one way, but it serves the intention of the mission, which is to continue the jam. It's this way that we can continue building, sharing with others who we've never met, like to hop on where you don't feel like you have to exchange all this personal information. You can be like, here's this invitation to hop on, and whether they do or not, but they come around. But yeah, I'm really grateful for that, Amanda, and really grateful for everyone here who keeps it like a trustworthy, frequency that new people can come in and check in, and we can stay connected that way.
Yeah, it's really cool to think about, as we're gathered, because, this started during the pandemic and we were all isolated, but like more and more we're coming into, festivals and stuff as members of the Vision Train, and like cool to see how through that we might be able to invite more people into the space. I'm super curious if there's like anyone from I know Amanda and Joe Bob said they made some cool connections with people on the plane, and yeah, curious just to see like, yeah, because this does feel like, we've created a genuinely, we used to call it the front porch of the visionary art movement. And it still feels relevant, this is really a cool third space where it is safe, like you said, and it is a place to connect, and it is a place to be ourselves, and the value of that is just unnameable, until you experience it, it doesn't always come across, that even if you're watching it and you haven't experienced it, you might not really get the value. But once you're immersed in it, it's the ability to be able to process, and safety is like, I mean, where else do you find that in your day-to-day life anymore? So I think it's super valuable. But yeah, I guess we've been going on the live stream for a minute, and the reflections have been really rich. If anybody, I don't want to cut it short if there's anyone else that does want to share, but if not, we could just I wanted to share a few announcements and updates about the Gathering Momentum fundraiser. We're in our last week, which is really exciting. Um, but other than that, does anybody else have anything else they want to share? Yeah, please, Catherine.
Hi everybody. I'm new here because I wasn't participating. But just as far as collaboration goes, I just wanted to share about my main gig is more in I train and mentor healers, and I'm involved in a lot of healing work and shamanic work, and I just was approved to speak at the SciCon. It's like we have a smaller psychedelic conference happening here in New Mexico next year, and in Colorado as well. And so I'm collaborating. I'm on faculty for teaching psychedelic physicians, because New Mexico is going into medical use. So I'm collaborating with, I just had a call today to collaborate with the woman who runs that, and then to be like influencing the conference to be, as we had this great meeting that was about like, okay, how do we influence this conference to be more about creativity and art, and having some kind of community art project happening where people are coming together and making art about their own work and their own like psychedelic experiences, and giving people a space to have that, and having more community discussions, and having it feel more collaborative than like an industry conference, which I think this one has leaned a little bit more in that kind of like, oh, we're in industry and we're gonna sell you stuff, and we're like, well, how can we make this like more of a nervous system, yes, and a creative, supportive space for people to like connect on that level. So I thought that was just like a resonant collaborative thread of bringing, bringing more art in. And yeah, if anybody's interested in coming to New Mexico, and let me know.
When is
Yeah.
it? When is it?
It's like early March, I think. Yeah.
It could
Cool.
be,
Yeah.
It's
maybe, maybe
yeah,
we could have a vision train, like, you know.
stuck in there where there's not a lot of stuff going on in that time. And, we're also looking at, what are some local, maybe art organizations or some indigenous art organizations that we can pull in.
Yeah, I think it would be really fun to just, I'm glad to have you on board. I know you said you're kind of new, but you're fully immersed in the space already doing the workshops with Amanda, and sounds so cool. It'd be cool to have you back to just like talk about as you're planning that. I think there's so much that we could all learn about like that side of things, and how we do create spaces where, it's the full nervous system, yes, but there's also that value exchange happening, and we're all learning and increasing in value together. So wow, super cool. What an opportunity. Thank you for sharing.
It's so aligned, Catherine, right now. There's things that are coming up right now, like from multiple angles that are looking to expand this in such a similar way to the way you just shared. There's the Spirit Plant Medicine Conference in Canada.
Oh, I really want to go to that one.
Yeah, and it sounds like we're gonna maybe do a trip like in a month for critical mass in September potentially with them. And I just see there being such a an opportunity to connect these communities around creative integration. And
Well, I
yeah,
I was able to in this. It's called the Conscious Psychedelic Physicians Academy. So it's a year-long program to train mostly like nurses, end of life, doctors, therapists. And I taught a class on creative expression and psychological integration and psychedelic work. And so I got to pull in a lot of research that's been done about creative expression, and bring in like case studies of my own people that I've had do art after sessions and things like that. And everybody, they were really excited about it. They really loved receiving this information. They were excited about that possibility of bringing that into their psychedelic facilitation work.
Mm.
And also, yeah, thanks, Catherine. I've been in nursing school. I'm going to retake it in the spring, but there is like, I think my understanding is that Zendo is not going to have like trainings like they used to, but they're going to try to train everyone. This is like a new model of care in the world that like more people know how to, maybe not in a controlled setting, but mitigate psychedelic harm reduction situation. So it's yeah, like Amanda was saying, like it's so mainstream. Bridging.
yeah, I think my sense, and I've been hearing this from others too, like the world that we're going into, of course, we don't know. We can never fully predict the future, right? But there's like the need for more connection with our creativity, and through that finding more like purpose and as a place to kind of channel and like reframe and open up. There's a lot there. And I think that, the arts have been very, yeah, I don't want to say too siloed, but in some ways it's like I hear from a lot from people who are like, I'm not an artist or I can't draw. But, there's so many different forms and ways of expressing, and the value of art being something that is beyond just a product, the value of art in making art and being together making art, which is really the foundation of where this space started. The Vision Train Global Art Jam, You know, it was like, let's get together and create alone together our most important work in a time of global change. That was 6.5 years ago. And 6.5 years later, we're still in a great time of global change. And I think also humanity going through and very much needing to go through a big growth, internal growth of identity and responsibility as we move into this era, this next technological revolution of artificial intelligence, and influencing our lives on many levels. And so I think like this need to connect with others, to have real connection and connection with our own creativity is a big part of it. And so I do think that we're gonna, as artists and facilitators, which is something that this place has been a training ground for, we're going to be needed more and more. And that is a good thing. uh, holding space. And sometimes holding space means just being there together. We don't even have to be speaking, right? But we hold a collective, it's a morphogenic field, of safety, of encouragement, of that's my hope and what I sense here continuously, and why I think we've all been attracted to this space.
Totally. Yeah, it's interesting. What was coming up for me with that is like this idea that people think that they're not an artist, but we also have in our culture this like chronic perfectionism thing where like we're all carrying this idea in our heads of the right way to do things. And if you stop and breathe with that for a second, that is your inner artist, you know what I mean? That's trying to guide you, but it's all trapped up in this complex of perfectionism, right? But if you can get into flow with that and sort of like, yeah, instead of chasing a feeling, just like be with it, that was what it was really resonating for me. I think there's like a misconception where, yeah, creativity is sort of we were talking at the start of the campaign about how sometimes we feel like um art is considered a luxury, but really the more we look at it, it is so necessary to our daily lives and our existence. You know what I mean? And I think what you're talking about, that is becoming more and more apparent and accepted, and people are turning to artists. I mean, you look at even just like the field of psychology, you know what I mean? That's as much art as it is science. You know what I mean? People have been coming to their therapists, to have these kinds of conversations, holding space and stuff, the most human things, and calling that science. You know what I mean? But it's art. This is art that we do. Um, so yeah, I really appreciated what you shared there, Amanda, about creativity. Oh, yeah, this has been a great conversation. I see Scott popped on a little bit. It's late there for you. I know you were planning to host a little bit with us, and it's good to have you with us. We've been reflecting on collaboration and emergence for the last 45 minutes, really. And I did want to give you guys some updates and everything about what's happening um, elsewhere outside of this room, but also within the ecosystem of the Vision Train. Um, so yeah, for anybody that might be watching on the live stream, you guys may or may not know, we've been gathering momentum for the last 5 weeks. This is our 6-week fundraiser for the Vision Train. Our goal is to reach $33,333. I don't know why we did that to ourselves, because now every time I say the number out loud, I'm like, that number is really hard to say. But we're making our way there. We got over $7,000 this week. So we're making progress, but we've only got 7 days left, guys. So we're pulling out all the stops, and we want you guys to be really sharing this around. You guys just heard everything, that makes this really important, really valuable, really necessary for the world. I think, it could come across as just a social club or something. And then, if you're in it, that it's so much more than that. And so I just want to continue to get that message out there to the world. And I've been loving doing these live streams with you guys and just getting to share more and more about what the Vision Train actually is and how it operates and what opportunities there are here for artists. So I don't know. Today is an exciting day because there's been some evolution in the Vision Train shop, which we launched at the start of this year. During Connection, we launched the shop, and it's been stewarded primarily by Marina. And we've been allowing artists to submit art now for the Vision Train shop, which always the art in the Vision Train shop has been done by the Vision Train artist, but it was done like Marina's t-shirt, what she's wearing is something like that. I don't know if you can show it off a little bit, but this is from the first collection. Marina did the art for this design. But now we're bringing into the shop more of the artist paintings. You can get them as like postcards, stickers, different things like that, posters. And so we've got a collection of 6 artists for this first release. Marina is one of them, but we also have Celine, we have Emily, we have um, Trishna, Brittany, and one more. Who am I missing, Marina? Amanda Satya. I got them all. But yeah, you guys can check it out. Maybe we can drop the link to the shop in the chat. Or Marina, do you maybe want to share a little bit about it? You could even share your screen if you want.
Yeah, so nice to be here with you all this Friday. We've been gathering momentum here on Fridays, right, Ali? It's been really interesting the like the uniqueness of the person that gathers and the shares. Like Ali said, it's really interesting to listen to what is the vision train and what is this gathering momentum, like how it affects people. Because yeah, it for sure collaboration and emergency. And then we released the shop, which is one of the projects that we've been working on the back end for a few months now, and feels really good to be releasing this together with gathering momentum. Well, we like in each of us life experience, we've been gathering momentum like really deep in these 6 weeks. I've already made a party. I've already made a few live streams here on Fridays with Ellie and the crew. And it's been really interesting to see all these themes and how they are really synchronic to our lives. I don't know if we pick a theme and it will be related, like I don't know if it's like that, but feels so connected. And yeah, the collaboration and emergency, we've been collaborating for many years now, and now we're going to the celebration and harvest of like all of these projects. And yeah, I have something interesting to share. I've also been gathering momentum in my house, many things moving around, that thing that been sitting there for 2 years. Like, no way, not anymore. Move around, just move around. So I've been doing that in my house, and I found a notebook that I was using in 2022. No, in 2020. Yeah, in 2020. And then I was like reading, and I was like, who is this intelligent person? I was writing so many inspiring things. And then, when you flip the thing open, and it got to a page where I was writing down like this: Hello, diary. Today I've invested in a painting course. It was a lot of money, and I hope I can learn. And this is the material list. And the course starts July 4th. And here's the material list. And so I write the material list. And then on the other pages was the exercise of the first class of Transformation 2020. I even got emotion. I cried a lot. When I was reading that, I cried a lot already. But yeah, it's really interesting. Like, yeah, gathering momentum for 6 years on the train. And yeah, the amount of transformation that this wave brought, like being on the train brought, being on this wagon with you all. So yeah, feels really special. feels really special. I'm emotive. You can see it in my voice. I cannot hide it. So yeah, it was really interesting to see this notebook on Saturday night, like alone in my living room, and then no, I'm not alone. No, what is this? Like, who was this Marina? And Marina, have you ever dreamed that you'll be living like this now? And no way, no way. This is beyond imagination. This is beyond greatest. This is like pure magic. So yeah, everyone get on board, please. Like, just jump on board whenever you can, how you can. I know life is hard, but once a month, come on. Yeah. So
Oh,
yeah, glad to share. And anyone that wants to check the shop, you can go to visiontrain.org and go to the shop tab, and that is the new artist collection, and more products are incoming. And Vision Train community, you're all invited to submit your artwork to the shop, and we'll be really glad to share the artwork created here by the Vision Train writers there on the shop. Yeah.
ah, I just love that. Oh my gosh, you made me cry a little bit too. Just that little bit. I mean, it's so, and again, I don't know if this translates for people that have not experienced the vision train, but I imagine that it does. I imagine that I hope for people that they have these experiences where, they take the time to go back to, 2020 or whenever it is in your life and just like have those moments with your past self where you can just feel that, oh my gosh, like, yeah, because I think a lot of us are always, going, right? And then it's like, what you accomplish in a day is miraculous. Just waking up in the morning is such a miracle. But like to think of all that like how far you've come in 6 years and that we got to go together is so nice. So nice. And to your point about, come on, join us. Why not? We do. We have critical masses coming up again next week, next Friday. It's also the grand finale of Gathering Momentum. This week is all about celebration and harvest. So that's the energy that we're going to be bringing. And we definitely want to invite you all to be a part of that. So every single month is a great time for people who have never experienced the train to come on board. Every critical mass, every Friday, we have this art jam. And so once the fundraiser is done, we'll go back to our normal Friday art jam, which is a little psychedelic, a little bit funky. And we get together, we have these kinds of sharing time for, maybe an hour. Sometimes it's shorter, sometimes it's longer. And then we get together and we paint like we're getting ready to do now. Or, some of us cook dinner, or some of us are cleaning the house or whatever. But the point is, we are in art and flow together and sharing space. So I really want to invite people to join us next month or next week for Critical Mass, and that happens every single month on the last Friday. It's also an opportunity if you are someone that is discovering the Vision Train and you're like, oh my gosh, this reminds me of this other group that I'm a part of. Like, we're so similar. I can't believe that there's another group like this. Okay, that's why we designed Critical Mass. We want you guys to bring your friends and your group, and we want to share our stage with you guys and show the world that we're not the only ones. So critical mass is all about coming together in a field of coherence, like we always do. But Amanda had this idea back in, when was it? In December or January, to get 200 artists, right? Was it 200 was the goal, to get 200 artists on the Zoom call at the same time? And we got really close. I think that day we had over 200 artists come on the train. They just weren't all at once. So we're still trying to achieve that. And so if you guys want to be a part of that, I think if we do pull it off, when we do pull it off, it will be something really miraculous, and you'll have to be there to find out what it is. So next Friday, same time, same place. We'll be here doing critical mass. I'll have guests and lots of fun for you guys planned. And then the Friday after that, and the Friday after that, and the Friday after that, you guys know here. So Thanks for tuning in to the Momentum Report. And thank you so much, everyone, for coming and joining us on the Zoom and for sharing your reflections. And I'm looking forward to a really amazing, exciting, full of energy last week of our fundraiser, celebration, and harvest. And yeah, that's all that I had to share for today for the live stream. And if there's anybody else that has anything else they'd like to add.
Choo choo, come board the vision train, my friends.
Yeah, good to
Choo
see you
choo.
all. Look forward to come get on board. They're going into an art jam, and even if you don't see a event on the schedule or like a scheduled trip, there's often renegade jams, and there's John was hosting one today. And if you get into the WhatsApp group, the Vision Train Station WhatsApp group, yeah, just post wherever, ask us and we'll get you in there and you can get into the kind of the inner circle. It's good jams here, good vibes. Thank you all.
Perfect.